A very warm welcome, dear students. Today we are going to do the NEET past questions of AC circuit chapter. So let us start the very first question, and it is very important that you must practice these questions, or whenever the questions are flashed on the screen, you should first try to do the questions on your own. You should pause the video and try to do the question on your own, and then you should check whether your answer matches with my answer or not. So let us start. The very first question is, a coil having self inductance L is connected in series with a bulb B and an AC source. Brightness of the bulb decreases when? So we know that there is a inductor and there is a bulb. Of course, bulb means it is having some resistance. So there is a inductor and a bulb, both are connected in series. So if I draw the situation would probably appear like this. So there is a bulb and there is a inductor, and both are connected in series across AC source. Now the situation is the brightness of the bulb should decrease. Now we know that the brightness of the bulb will decrease if the current decreases. Okay, so the current will decrease for what of the following options? Let us try to understand. First, an iron rod is inserted in the coil. First let me write down the formula for current. We know that the current in the circuit will be equal to total voltage E divided by Z, that is the total opposition. Total opposition is called as impedance. So I can write I is equal to E upon Z, and I can write Z as root of R square plus XL minus XC the whole square. But here there is no capacitance, so I'll just write XL square. So this is the formula for current in RL circuit. Now let us check the options one by one. If I want the brightness of the bulb to decrease, then definitely what should happen is the current should decrease. So let me see which of the options will finally convert to decrease in the current. Okay, the first one, an iron rod is inserted in the coil. So iron rod is inserted in the coil. We know the formula for self inductance is mu naught N square AL. That is the formula for self inductance. Okay, so when there is no iron rod inside the inductor, then the formula is mu naught N square AL. The moment you introduce a iron rod, then definitely the formula will now become mu naught mu R N square AL. That is mu R is the relative permeability of iron, and which is very large. Okay, so mu R is very large. So you can say that if you introduce iron rod, the self inductance L will increase. Now if L increases, then definitely XL increases, because we know that XL is equal to 2 pi FL or XL is equal to omega L. So if L increases, definitely XL increases. Now XL is in the denominator. If reactance XL increases, then definitely denominator increases, and if denominator increases, the current decreases. Okay, so I came to know that if current decreases, the brightness decreases. So the very first option itself is the answer, but here I will also teach you why the others are not correct. Okay, the second option is frequency of the AC source is decreased. So if you decrease the frequency of the AC source, we know that XL is equal to 2 pi FL. If frequency is decreased, XL will decrease, right? So we know XL is equal to 2 pi FL. If frequency is decreased, XL will decrease. XL will decrease means denominator will decrease, and if denominator decreases, the current will increase. So the brightness of the bulb will increase, whereas we wanted the brightness of the bulb to decrease, right? So second one is not the correct option. Third one, number of turns in the coil is reduced. Now you see this formula. The self inductance L is equal to mu naught N square AL, where small n is number of turns per unit length. However, if you decrease the number of turns, then small n will also decrease. If small n decreases, L decreases. L decreases means XL decreases, right? And if XL decreases, then I already told you this, if XL decreases, current will increase and the brightness will increase. So but we wanted the brightness of the bulb to decrease, so even third one is not the correct answer. Now let us move on to the last option. A capacitance of reactance XC equal to XL is included in the same circuit. Now if XL is equal to XC, then we know that resonance will take place and the opposition will be minimum. If the opposition, that is this lower part, the denominator Z will be minimum, it will be equal to R, and if that happens, the current will be maximum, and if current is maximum, brightness will increase, whereas we wanted the brightness to decrease. So I'll write here, if you introduce a capacitor okay, whose whose reactance is equal to XL, then Z will be minimum, the denominator will be minimum, so current will be very large and the brightness will increase. So according to the question given, only the first option is correct. Okay, first option is the answer. Now let us move to the second question. A resistance R draws power P when connected to an AC source. That means initially in the picture there is only a resistor R. If an inductance is now placed in series with the resistance such that the impedance of the circuit becomes Z, the power drawn will be. Okay, so initially in the circuit there was only R, and now what is done, L is also connected in series. So let us see what was the power initially when only R was present. Now when only R was present, power will be equal to E square by R. Okay, whenever I say E, it is always RMS value. If it is peak value, I will always say E naught. Okay, so because so let us solve this question. Let us solve this question. So initially there was only R. Now they did not say anything about the applied voltage. So of course you will keep the applied voltage same, connected to an AC source. The AC source is the same, so automatically V will be same. That is applied voltage, E will be same. That is what I mean to say. So I'll write here, assume the voltage is same, as nothing is mentioned about the voltage. In other words, there is no need to assume also, because it is the same source. They are not changing the source. The voltage will be same. So initially when only resistor was there in the picture, the power was equal to E square by R. I hope you know that power can be written in three ways. Power is equal to I square R, E square by R, and EI. These are the three formulas, right? So I would use E square by R here. So this is the initial power when only resistor is there in the circuit. Now let us see what would be the power when even inductor is there in the picture. Now when inductor is there, of course it will give rise to inductive reactance, and we know that the formula for power is ERMS into IRMS into cos phi. So the formula for power is ERMS into IRMS into cos phi, and in place of IRMS I will write ERMS upon Z, because total current is equal to total voltage upon total opposition, which is Z in this case, right? So I'll write that. So, and cos phi is R by Z, power factor is equal to R by Z. So finally this is the answer, and this is a new power when inductor is also present, and I'll write this as P dash. So let me write this as P dash. So P dash is the new power, P is the old power. They wanted to find out what is the new power. Okay, so just divide equation number 2 by 1, whatever is common will get cancelled, and you should get the answer finally. So let's see, it's a very easy question. So let's see, the only thing is that the student should know the formula for power factor, and he should know that only E should be there in the picture. So if there is current, you can always replace that current by E by Z. So let me see what is the answer. This is the final answer. Okay, so you just divided equation number 2 by equation number 1. Now what is the advantage of doing the past year papers? You will definitely when you go through this, you will also recollect, is there something which you have left? So if there is something which you have left, you can always go through it, and you can you can master the concepts once again. Okay, so it is very important that you must go through the past year questions, and I think I have in my channel, YouTube channel, you can go to the playlist section, and in the playlist you will find the past year papers of almost all chapters. All chapters I have already solved, 2013 to 2019. So for some of the chapters I solved 2013 to 2020, and 2020 paper I have solved as it is. So you can just go through it. So you will get all questions from 2013 to 2020. That is what I mean to say. So let's move on to the next question. Question number 13. Third one. A series RC circuit is connected to an alternating voltage source. So we have a resistor and we have a capacitance, and they are in series. Consider two situations: when capacitor is air filled and when capacitor is mica filled. Current through the resistor is I and voltage across the capacitor is V. Then okay, let's see. So RC circuit means probably I'll draw like this, and I know the formula for current. Current is equal to E by Z, and here Z will be equal to root of R square plus XC square. Z will be equal to root of R square plus XC square. So let me write that as well. Okay, so in place of Z I can write root of R square plus XC square. Now when you introduce mica, okay, the capacitance will increase by k times. Okay, k times. We know that when we introduce a dielectric with dielectric constant k, the capacitor will increase by k times. Okay, so this is what will happen. So I have written the formula for Xc here. Xc is 1 upon 2 pi Fc. Now, when you introduce mica, if capacitor is mica filled, its capacitance will increase k times as compared to what it was in air. So now your capacitance will increase by k times, and k is always greater than 1. So I can say that if your capacitance increases, if this C increases, then of course Xc decreases. If Xc decreases, then the denominator decreases, and if denominator decreases, if Xc decreases, then the current will increase. That means the current later will be more than the current initially. That means the current in second part will be more than the current initially. That is, IB will be greater, I in case of B will be more than I in case of A. So that is what is the first thing we get. IB is greater than IA, and we do not have any option like this. So now we will talk about voltage across the capacitor. The voltage across the capacitor is nothing but current into Xc, that is opposition of the capacitor. The voltage across a capacitor is current through the capacitor multiplied by the opposition of the capacitor, or I can say V is equal to Ixc, right? And we know I can be written as further E root of R square plus Xc square. Okay. Now let us think what is going to happen. I know that ultimately when capacitance increases, Xc will decrease. Okay, so but then there is Xc in the numerator also and Xc in the denominator also. So definitely I will be having difficulties in judging so as to what is going to happen. So what I'll do is I will remove the Xc from the numerator or from the denominator. So now the only thing which I think of doing is I will take this Xc in the root. When I take Xc inside the root, it will become root of Xc square upon R square plus Xc square. In the numerator and denominator inside the root, I will divide by Xc square. So if I do that, this is what I will get. In the numerator, Xc square by Xc square will become 1. This will become R square by Xc square, and this will also become 1. Now, when mica is introduced, capacitance will increase, and if capacitance increases, this denominator Xc will decrease. Xc will decrease means R square by Xc square will increase. So ध्यान से सुनना, concentrate properly please. First is Xc will decrease, so R square by Xc square will increase, and if the denominator increases, then the voltage will decrease. So the voltage later will be less than the voltage initial, or you can say voltage in case B will be smaller than the voltage in case A. So my answer will be VB will be less than VA, and this corresponds to option number 3. So this is how you solve this problem. I won't say that this question was very easy, because students make mistakes here. You know what they will do is they will say V is directly proportional to I, and when I has increased, then voltage will increase, which is not true. You have to understand this. I also contains an Xc, so there will be Xc in the numerator as well as denominator, so you can't say answer like this. Okay, so let us move to the next question, fourth one. Which of the following combinations should be selected for better tuning of a LCR circuit used for communication? So let us see this. Now, how do you judge, which combination is the best for tuning of a LCR circuit? I'll tell you very simple. For that, we learn about something called as quality factor. So it is a quality factor which will decide, which combination is the best. The combination with the best quality factor, with the highest quality factor, would be better. So what we are going to do is we will find out quality factor in all the 4 cases, and only then we'll get the answer. So let us see. The formula for quality factor is either XL upon R or XC upon R, which translates finally to 1 by R root of L by C. So I'll use the formula 1 by R root of L by C. This is the formula for quality factor. Now R is different in all the cases, L is different in all the cases, and C is also different. So you have to substitute the value of R, L and C in all the first option, second option, and check where it is maximum. And definitely it is a difficult question. I have done the calculations. You can check it. I have kept everything in root only, and from this 4 calculations I came to know that root 48 is the greatest. That means Q4 is the greatest, or in the 4th option, corresponding to the 4th option, the quality factor is highest. So I can say that The fourth one is the best for tuning of LCR circuit. Okay, so fourth is the final answer. Of course, this was a difficult sum, and there are fair chances that you might make mistake because it involved a lot of calculations. So this is one of its own kind, you know. I mean, such questions come. I mean, it's very less chance that such type of questions might appear in the exam. Okay, but it has happened. It happens sometimes. Okay, so you can say that quality factor is maximum in case 4. So this would be the answer. So it is very time consuming also. So such type of questions you should solve at the end. Now let's move on to the next, that is fifth. The potential differences across the resistance, capacitance and inductance are 80, 40 and 100 in the LCR circuit. The power factor of this circuit is, so let us try to understand. We need to find out power factor. Power factor is nothing but cos of phase difference, cos phi. So this is the horizontal line which I have drawn is nothing but current, and we know that the voltage across the capacitor lags the current by pi by 2. Okay, and voltage across the inductor leads the current by pi by 2. So when I draw the phasor diagram, this is how it would look like. This is nothing but we already drawn this current. This is I. The voltage across the resistor will be in same phase with the current. The voltage across the capacitor will lag by 90 degrees with respect to current, and the voltage across the inductor will lead by 90 degrees with respect to the current. And now let me write its values. We are given that the voltage across the resistor is 80 volts. So this is 80 volts, and VL, that is the voltage across the inductor, is 100 volt, and the voltage across the capacitor is given to us as 40 volt, right? This is what is the diagram. Now if you see the diagram carefully, see what we have to find out: power factor, that is cos of the phase difference between the final voltage and the current. Okay, now if you see carefully, you will realize that VL and VC are nothing but they are connected, they are opposite direction. VL and VC are opposite direction, so they will cancel out. 100 minus 40, it will be 60. Okay, so they will subtract. So the resultant diagram will look like this. This is nothing but 60 volt. This will be 60 volt. This is 80 volt as it is. Okay, and now let me find out the resultant, and current will be of course like this on this horizontal line itself. This is I, this is 80, this is 60, and now by parallelogram law, I'll draw a parallelogram. I can find out the resultant. This is the resultant. This is your final ER, and this is nothing but the phase difference phi. Phase difference phi. I want to find out power factor, and power factor is nothing but cos phi. So in this diagram, what will be cos phi? Cos phi will be equal to what? Adjacent 80 divided by hypotenuse ER. Adjacent 80 divided by ER. So now I need to calculate ER, and ER can be very easily calculated by Pythagoras theorem. I know this is 80. This is this vertical line is nothing but 60. So by Pythagoras theorem, ER will be equal to root of 80 square plus 60 square. So ER is nothing but root of 80 square plus 60 square, which is 100 volt. So cos of phi will be equal to adjacent upon hypotenuse, that is 80 by 100, that turns out to be 0.8. So this is the final answer, fourth option, right? Next, an inductor 20 millihenry, a capacitor 50 microfarad and resistor 40 ohm are connected in series across a source of EMF V equal to 10 sin 340t, the power loss. So it's quite easy sum. We know the values of L, C and R. I'll write on the data. So this is the data given to us, and we have to calculate the value of power, right? Power. Now what is the formula for power? Power is nothing but ERMS, IRMS, cos phi. But before that, I'm being given an equation of AC voltage, and the general equation of AC voltage is E is equal to E naught sin omega t. So if I use the general equation E equal to E naught sin omega t and compare it with this, so let me do that. The standard equation is E equal to E naught sin omega t. Comparing, E naught is 10 and omega is 340. Now let me write down the formula for power, and I will rearrange the terms. So first, power is ERMS, IRMS, cos phi. IRMS can be written as ERMS upon Z. So power is nothing but ERMS, IRMS, cos phi, and then I can further write this ERMS square upon Z square into R. Okay, cos phi is R by Z. E RMS is nothing but E naught by root 2. देखो I already know E naught. So E RMS is E naught by root 2. If I square it, it will become E naught square by 2. Right? This is what it will become. So finally, the only thing which I need to calculate is Z square. Rest all the terms I already know. So let me do that. First I'll calculate XL. XL is omega L. We know omega, we know L, we can find out XL. Then I'll calculate XC. XC is equal to 1 by omega C. So when I do the calculation, XC turns out to be 58.82, which you can take it 59 approximately, or you let it be like this, 58.8. Now let me calculate XC minus XL. I hope you know the formula for Z. Z is nothing but root of R square plus XL minus XC the whole square, right? So let me calculate the value of Z. But before that, I'll calculate XC minus XL, which is 52. Okay, 52. Now Z square is R square plus XL minus XC the whole square. Now if you are wondering, sir, you said XL minus XC the whole square, but you wrote XC minus XL the whole square. So for those students, I'll tell them that A minus B the whole square is same as B minus A the whole square. So it is all okay, it doesn't matter. A minus B the whole square is B minus A the whole square. So I can write XC minus XL the whole square, and when I substitute, this is the answer for Z square. So finally I got Z square. I already know E naught, I already know R. I'll substitute and calculate, and this is the final answer. The answer is 0.46 watt. And there is no option like this, so I'll mark the closest option, that is 0.51 watt. And this question has also been repeated once again, that we will check, we will see, don't worry. So exactly the same question has been repeated once again in the exam. I think the only change was the value of capacitance was different. Here it is 50, there it was 100. So we'll see that. So questions do repeat sometimes. Okay, next, 7th. A small signal voltage is applied across an ideal capacitor. Current is in phase with voltage. Current leads the voltage, lags the voltage. Capacitor does not consume any energy. Okay, so let us see that. This is true that capacitor does not consume any energy, because capacitor is an energy storing device. It stores energy. So we already know that option number D is correct. And regarding phase, we know that the current in a capacitor leads by 90 degrees with respect to voltage. The current in the capacitor leads the voltage by 90 degrees. This is already known to us. Reverse is voltage lags the capacitor, voltage lags the current by 90, or current leads the voltage by 90. Both are one and the same. So you can speak in both the ways. Both are correct. So I have given a small explanation regarding D option. You can just go through this. Now let us move on to question number 8. So question number 8 is 100 ohm resistance, capacitor of 100 ohm reactance are connected in series across a 220 root 2 volt source. When the capacitor is 50% charged, the peak value of the displacement current. Now you have to understand that displacement current and conduction current are always equal. So the peak value of displacement current will be equal to the peak value of conduction current. So ultimately they have asked you I naught, and we know I naught is equal to E naught by Z. I naught is equal to E naught by Z. E naught is 220 root 2, and Z is root of R square plus XC square. This is XC, this is R. So I'll substitute the values, R square plus XC square, root of 100 square plus 100 square, the answer will be 100 root 2. So I think it's a very easy calculation. The answer turns out to be 2.2 ampere. Now let's move on to the next question. The next question is 9th one. A long solenoid of diameter 0.1 meter has 2 into 10 power 4 turns per meter. So this is number of turns per unit length of the solenoid. At the center of the solenoid, a coil of 100 turns and radius 0.01 is placed with its axis coinciding with the solenoid. Fine. So inside the solenoid we have a coil whose details are known. The current in the solenoid reduces at a constant rate to 0 from 4 in 0.05 seconds. Okay, so it changes from 4 to 0 if the resistance of the coil is 10 pi square ohm. The total charge flowing through the coil is. Now we know that the charge is nothing but change in the flux upon resistance of the coil. Change in the charge flowing is nothing but flux upon change in the flux upon resistance. And those who don't know, for them I can write here. We know I is equal to dq by dt, right? But I can be also I dt is equal to dq. So this is what you should know, that I dt can be written as dq. Now E is equal to d phi by dt. We know this. And E can be written as IR. So IR is equal to d phi by dt. Just rearrange the terms. Take this dt to the left and R to the right. So you will get I dt is equal to d phi by R, or you can write I dq is equal to d phi by R. So this is how you get the value of this is how you get the formula. So I wrote it for those students who don't know this formula. Okay, now so I need to find out the change in the flux, right? Change in the flux. So this is a situation. There is a solenoid inside which there is a coil, okay, and we need to calculate the value of charge induced in the coil. So let us start. Now the flux through the coil is given by the formula NAB cos theta. However, cos theta will not come here because the plane of the coil is perpendicular to the magnetic field. This blue coil, the magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane of the coil. So the formula will be phi is equal to NAB, N of coil, A of coil, B of solenoid. B is because of solenoid, magnetic field is because of solenoid. So the flux through this coil is nothing but NAB. N coil, A coil, B solenoid, and B inside a solenoid is given by the formula mu naught Ni. N is number of turns per unit length, and so actually this I should have kept in EMI itself, okay, rather than putting in AC circuits, but it's okay. So I won't put this in EMI now. So this is what it is, okay, and initially the current is 4 and finally it is 0, right? So initially this is the final flux, okay. I'll just change this. This is the final flux. Why final flux is 0? This is final flux, okay. So please remember that. So this, whatever I wrote, this is flux final, F, final flux, because finally the current is 0, and this is nothing but initial flux, okay. So if you know final flux and initial flux, in initial flux I have just substituted the value of current, number of turns per unit length in the solenoid, everything I have substituted, and I know that change in the flux, that dq is equal to change in the flux divided by R, that is equal to what, you know, I can write mod of this, and in the final flux is 0, this is initial. So finally it is nothing but flux initial upon R. Flux initial upon R. Change in the flux is final minus initial, initial minus final. We are not interested, we only want magnitude, right? Magnitude of the charge. So finally, see, you will get the answer. If you substitute, the answer turns out to be 32 microcoulombs. This is the final answer. Now let us move on to the next thing, that is 10th one. 10th, I told you that the question has been repeated, so I am not going to explain this once again. The only difference is that here the value of the capacitance is 100 microfarad, and so I'll directly show you the solution, okay. You can do it on your own. It is exactly the same, everything is the same, okay, but the answer will be different because XC value is different, okay. Next, so this was asked in NEET 2018, so the questions do repeat sometimes, okay. Next, a parallel plate capacitor of capacitance 20 microfarad is being charged by a voltage source whose voltage is changing at the rate of 3 volt per second. So this is nothing but C, this is nothing but dV by dt, and the conduction current through the connecting wires and the displacement current would be. Now we know that conduction current and displacement current are equal, so we can find either of them. So here I am given C and dV by dt, so I will find out displacement current. The formula for displacement current is C dV by dt. I will write on the data first. The displacement current is given by I is equal to C dV by dt. I know C, I know dV by dt. I'll just substitute, and this is the answer, 60 microampere. And I told you that the conduction current and the displacement current are equal. So this is what it is. So most of the students, they skip displacement current, but let me tell you that you must have seen by now there were 2 questions asked on displacement current right from 2013 to 2020. So you cannot just ignore displacement current, please remember that. Next, 12th question. A series LCR circuit is connected to an AC voltage source. When L is removed, the phase difference is pi by 3. If C is removed, then also the phase difference is pi by 3, the power factor. That means actually it is a RLC circuit. When L is removed means only C is present. What is the meaning of L is removed? L is removed means only C is present, and in that case there is a formula, tan phi is equal to X. See, what is the formula for tan phi actually? mod of XL minus XC divided by R. That is how you find out the phase. Tan of phase difference is mod of XL minus XC by R. But in this case, you know what? Only C is present. So tan phi will be XC by R. Tan phi will be equal to XC by R, and I know the value of phi. Okay, so XC will be R tan phi, and phi is pi by 3. So this is the answer. Tan 60 root 3, this is the answer. R root 3. Now they gave one more situation, that when capacitance is removed, that is only when R is present, then also phase difference is equal to pi by 3, and I will get the same answer again. XL also is equal to R root 3. So it is very easy that XL is equal to XC, and we know whenever XL is equal to XC, it is resonance, and in resonance the power factor, phase difference between the final current and the voltage is always equal to 0, or cos factor phi is equal to 0. So power factor, sorry, so phi is equal to 0. Okay, phi is equal to 0, and they asked you the power factor. So power factor will be equal to, power factor is cos phi will be equal to 1. So that is the answer. Okay, 13th and the last, 40 microfarad capacitor, that is C, is connected to a 200 volt 50 hertz supply. The RMS value of the current in the circuit is, so I know C, I know F, I know E, and I need to calculate I. So it is very easy. I is equal, let me calculate XC first. Okay, XC, this is the data. XC is 1 upon 2 pi FC. So I'll substitute the values. And how will I get current? Current is equal to voltage upon total opposition, and here the opposition is only because of a capacitor. So I will be equal to E upon XC. And when you substitute this 1 upon this thing, then this all terms will go to the numerator and get multiplied, and when you multiply, the answer will be 2.5 ampere. Okay, and that's all. Okay, so thanks for watching the video, and do share the video with your friends, and comment on the video and like the video. And if you want to ask any doubts, or if you think that there was a better method of solving the sum, okay, then you can definitely comment. Thank you so much.